So everybody has their own paranormal origin stories, and eventually I'll cover a bunch of those. But I thought it was only right for me to start my own personal origin paranormal story. So without further ado, here we go. When I was around 4 or 5, I was a sick little kid. I had really bad pneumonia, I had ear infections, I had my tonsils taken out. The worst of it was the pneumonia, to the point where I was in and out of the hospital for at least a couple of months. And it got to the point where the doctors administered everything they possibly could and didn't know if I was going to get any better or not. There wasn't much more that they could do at the hospital. So they sent me home with my parents and had me recover from there. Now, shortly after I came home, say maybe a couple of weeks or so, I was sleeping up in my parents' room. I woke up one morning and I had obviously rolled off the bed and fell on the floor. Well, when I came to and just kind of looked up, there was a little girl that was standing over me. And when our eyes met, she said I was going to be okay. I just fell a little, fell off the bed and nothing was hurt. You're okay. But most importantly, my sickness was soon going to be going away. And she said that I'd be outside playing and going back to school and seeing my friends before I knew. And as she said her last words, she walked away and went around the corner. Well, right away I got up and kind of chased after her. Well, she was gone. By the time I got downstairs, my parents had noticed excitement. I had asked them right away, what happened to the little girl that was just upstairs? And of course, my parents, they told me there was nobody ever upstairs. We've been down here this entire time. And there were no other children in the house. My brother was quite a bit older than I, so there was definitely no mistaking that my brother was this little girl. So I had told them everything that she had said, and they pretty much passed it off as just me just having a dream. Fast forward a couple of weeks later, the original owner comes over to the house with a photo album. She wanted to show my dad what the house looked like when she bought it and different things that she upgraded in the house. And so as she was sitting on the couch, my dad had the photo album and I was sitting on his lap. And after a few pages, I locked eyes with a picture, which was that little girl. And I remember telling my dad, that's her. That's her. That's who I saw 2 weeks ago. And right away, the original owner was very, very flabbergasted and asked my dad, what is he talking about? Who is he pointing at? She got up and looked and noticed that I was pointing at this little girl. And right away, she said, well, that's impossible. Because 15 years ago, that's my daughter. She was out playing in front of the house and her ball went out in the street and she got hit by a truck. But I remember to this day that I saw her as real as life. And that wasn't the only time that I saw her. There were many times where my mom would be in the kitchen cooking or, doing laundry or whatever, and I would be in a different room playing with this little girl. And every time that my mom would come in, I would always ask her, when is Katie coming back? When is Katie coming back? And again, my parents never knew who this Katie was, other than that picture that was in that photo album. So that's how it all began with me. And there's been plenty more stories ever since then. Some of them way scarier, way more evil than that. She was definitely there for me, almost like my guardian angel. So, if any of you have any similar stories, by all means, let me know. Like I said, I'll be back and I'll cover more stories about myself and any other stories that maybe any of you would like me to cover. Till then, see you next time.